Go live. It has. It's gone live. Here we go.
We're live.
We are. So sorry, everybody. It's my fault. My fault.
Dan Andrews is very upset. He's like, Damien, I've been waiting here for minutes.
He'll forget about
Dan
it.
Andrews is
He'll forget about it.
Is he still doing the daily press conference down there?
Don't know. Wouldn't know. I have 0 Fs for that bloke, so I don't know.
That's good.
Wouldn't know.
We'll talk about some more exciting things. You've got a big special day coming up. I'm just seeing on my Facebook account that we are live, which is good. Peter Lennon's watching. I'm here. Get the party started.
Bang. Here we go.
I love it, Pete.
I love it. G'day, Helen.
That's cool. People coming on. This is exciting, folks. Today is a very special episode. We'll start recording in a moment. We're already getting congrats from Pete. Congrats, gentlemen. Happy birthday, Damo, says Helen Pocock.
So nice, thank you.
I can already feel like people are coming to the party, Damo. You know, when you just...
It's festive.
The doors open and 1 or 2 people trickle in and you go, oh, this is actually happening.
Yeah, I know. I've still got the old ticker going across the bottom there. I better change that. MP and DK.
Can you do that on the fly? Julie Hill says, big
MP.
happy birthday wishes to you. Oh, this is good already. Before we even hit record, people are coming in. This is fabulous, folks. Hang in there. Damo is just going to do a little update on the ticker because it's not Trav Bell. And Fiona Sawyer's come in. Happy birthday, Damo, with about 87 exclamation marks. Sammy Gowing's in.
Sam Gowing.
Sammy Gowing.
Hello.
Congratulations on 400.
Wow.
Happy birthday,
Julie
Damo.
Hill.
I get so tempted to press the bring them on camera button.
Is there a bring them on camera button?
I mean, Sammy Gowing wouldn't be freaked out, but on the live it says bring them on camera. Who's going to be the drunk uncle that doesn't know when to go home?
Me. Me, for sure.
That's so good. Now, do you want to just do a quick check on your preferences that your mic is actually your mic? Because I know you'd be devastated if it wasn't, and I have a suspicion that your mic is not your mic on your your preferences.
On Skype, is that true?
Day over 399. Great work, Trudy. I love it. Wendy, hello.
Trudy, that's coming up in your review.
Now that's good. Now your mic's on. That's really
better.
Good,
there we go. Well, I think it was right for. It was great for Ecamm Live. Everyone else would have heard it really well, but just the recording wouldn't have been great. So thank you. Thanks, Wens. Hey, great to have Wendy Stewart back. She's been absent, hasn't she?
Robin White, happy birthday, Damo. Ravi Rudner, epic effort, fellas. Oh, this is good. All right.
Thanks,
There's a lot of love coming in. The party is starting to jump. So why don't we hit record? Because I've got a really swift agenda for today's episode, and I'd like to just get stuck into it because I'm done with holding it in. So here we go. In 3, 2, and 1. Hello and welcome to episode 400 of 100 Not Out. That's right, 400 Not Out. This is a weekly show dedicated to helping you master the art of aging well. Marcus Pearce here with you. And more importantly than 400 Not Out is the fact that it is the birthday boy of one of the greatest men ever born. He is pretty much the greatest showman on the planet when it comes to health and wellness.
Wow.
Eat your heart out, Hugh Jackman, because it's Dr. Damien Christoph's 47th birthday tomorrow. So bugger 400 not out. It's 47 not out for the great man, Dr. Damien Christoph. How are you, legend?
Oh, great. Thanks, Piercy. Thank you so much. So wonderful to see so many people on here. I figure you've got something to do with this because we've never had this many people join us with a live. So it really is wonderful. Great to have everybody here. And Piercy, congratulations. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here at 400. There's no way. There is no way that we would have got this going, and no way we would have got it to 400 if it wasn't for you. And your introductions, your research, your everything that you do to make this an unbelievable podcast. And we wouldn't be going to Ikaria if it wasn't for you. And we wouldn't be doing Sardinia if it wasn't for you. If it wasn't for you, there'd be no longevity in the world. You're unbelievable. Thank you, Piercy, so much.
If it wasn't for you saying yes to coming on, I'd be talking to myself, and a lot of people would have turned off very quickly. Now, it's your 47th birthday tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so I have taken upon myself to put this episode as a love letter to Damien Christoph. today's episode is all about you, Damo, because it's your birthday. And I think that when you get to the age of 47, you can tell me because I don't know, I'm 39. But I think you begin to reflect on the impact that you've had in your life. I'm sure you think of Jackson, you think of your personal life as a family member and a friend, a son and a brother. I'm sure you think of your life as a chiropractor and a naturopath. But I reckon that it's a really good opportunity to do what I like to do in the Pierce family, and it's when it's someone's birthday, we're sitting around the dinner table, and I like to initiate an exercise called What I Love About the Birthday Person. So if it's Darby's birthday, what do we love about Darby? And we'll go around the table. I think today that our listeners here on Facebook can pop in the comments one of two things: what I love about or what I've learnt from Damo. Because if you've listened to 400 episodes, if you've come along to a wellness summit, a Crack Your Stress Code, a Power of Food, you've been a Vita or Vitality or Traralgon Chiropractic in the old days, if you've been to New Zealand to see Damo, watch Downsize Me, listen to Triple M, heard him on any of the radio networks around the country, you have learnt something from Damo. And great man, this is your life, but it is a 20-minute powwow on the impact that you've had on our lives. And I'm going to kick it off because Leos like to lead. And I'm going to share with you just some of the things I've learnt whilst the comments come in. And then we'll just start. I know you're going to get really uncomfortable about this, so you should.
I'm so uncomfortable right now.
So uncomfortable. You don't have to talk in this episode because I think this will be really informative for people when they, as I have, write down all of the things that they have learnt from one person. So my list is not exhaustive, but it is just a little insight as to what I've learnt personally from you, and I think others will agree. So I learned what an omnivore is from you because I was a raging vegan when we first met. I didn't know what an omnivore was.
That's so true.
I think I learned that at a Power of Food in Wonthaggi.
Yes.
Learn about the palm method, which many of us would know about from your great insights, and the two fists together, which is a part of our family values and culture. Mm-hmm. If people are saying I'm hungry, I'm like, all right, well, pop your two fists together and how much have you eaten, all the rest of it. So two fists is a big Damo insight. I reckon you first introduced me to probiotics, and I just always talk about LGG. That's definitely a Damo thing. Big
definitely
one.
My favourite.
Your diet dictates 80% of your body shape. Now, happy for you to just add a bit to this, but I think about this a lot, because particularly I do want to lose a few kegs off the belly, and I'm like, okay, I've got to move well, but I also have to ascertain maybe what the diet is as well. So that's a big one. I'll throw down to a few of the listeners because I don't want to just bang on about my list the whole time. Damo, Wendy Stewart loves your authenticity.
Thanks, Wayne.
Peter Leonard, I listened to the podcast on the Wellness Guys with Dr. Anna Rubenstein about rites of passage. Damo went to it. Did you go there with Jackson?
Yeah, I did. So Anna was a ex-Melbourne Grammar boy, and he piloted a program with Melbourne Grammar. After I watched it, after I read the book, I was speaking to Matt Hounier from Melbourne Grammar about it, and I said, Matt, this is something we should do at Melbourne Grammar. He goes, what a great idea. So we contacted Anna, and then through Anna, we managed to get it going. Someone at Melbourne Grammar donated a teepee, which would sit 40 people inside this teepee. And so we capped the group to 40 people. So we had 40 people come from Melbourne Grammar, and we went up to whatever it is in Woodend to Melbourne Grammar's.
My first girlfriend from Woodend. My first adult girlfriend, anyway.
Oh, really? Well, so then we then went there and did this rites of passage thing and took all these boys on it. And unfortunately, it never got off the ground at Melbourne Grammar. They never repeated it. But it was, I can tell you this right now, the single best thing that Jack and I, apart from going to a couple of grand finals, ever did. That Richmond one, that we ever did together, and it was out. And we've travelled all around the world together. But Jackson would say this too, that experience for him and that experience for me was just unbelievable. And I recommend that rites of passage event with Anna to dads almost every week, I would recommend people to do it. It's unreal. And Pete, I'm so happy that you're doing it. That's unbelievable. So well done.
Well, not only is Pete doing it, as a result of listening to you have a chat with Anna, he is now conducting Anna's Rites of Passage event in Canberra after being trained by Anna.
Wow.
So that is just a ripple effect of your impact on Pete Lennon's life. This is good. The Palm Method changed Wendy Stewart's life.
Did you see Ravi's one? Look at
what
Ravi's
I love
one.
about Damo, this is Ravi, what I love about Damo is his generosity and friendship. His mind and good looks intimidate me, but looking beyond that, I'm fortunate to be his mate. I love the way Ravi writes.
Yeah, so
Loz
funny.
Michelle, I love how welcoming Damo is. His vibration is always high. He's warm, except when Richmond lose. He's warm and calming energy who everyone wants to be around. You always are left feeling like you have a best friend and that he cares. That is so true, Loz.
Thanks, Lozzie.
Beautiful words.
Thanks, Lozzie.
Robin White says, I love Damo's easy laugh and easy conversations. Yes, the big easy.
Thanks, Robin.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think one of the most understated insights that you've ever given is the C and E connection of foods. Foods that begin with C and E, not just beginning with carbohydrate, cake, chocolate, coffee, caffeine, Coke as in the stuff you drink, and then Coke as in the stuff you snort, cocaine if you're being really conservative about it and proper, cookie, champagne, cheese. I've matured now to cabbage and chamomile, cabbage in the morning and chamomile at night. I don't have any of those things previously mentioned.
That was accidental, That was accidental. That was on the set of Downsize Me, and it was accidental. I hadn't even thought about it. So I think maybe it was not on the set of Downsize. It was when I was doing Downsize. I was in New Zealand. I was doing the Power of Food. And I said, you always crave stuff that start, you crave stuff, like you crave carbohydrates. So they start with C and N and E, and then it went to what do we crave? And then all of a sudden, everything like that we crave starts with C and N's and E. And I just thought that was hilarious. Anyway, I've continued to say that. I'm happy to own that one from 2004, maybe 2005. That's a long time.
Yeah. Mate, if you were more Insta famous, you'd make an infographic about C and E and it would go mental, it'd go viral. It'd be all over the world, this infographic with all of these words of crave, from that presentation. Pete Lennon has learned everything he needs to know and a bit more about poo. I don't know if he said he doesn't need to know any more about poo, but he's definitely learned everything.
There's so much to learn about poo. There's so much to learn about poo. Yeah.
Loz Michelle says cuddle, and I agree with you, Loz.
Yeah, that's a good crave.
And Damo likes to use cuddle. It's a strong part of his vocabulary. Speaking of which, complete tangent, because I see that my sister
Did I teach you
Olivia
hand cuddles? Did I teach you hand cuddles?
Yeah, hand cuddles is definitely from you.
Yeah.
But Olivia is impressed with our vocabulary. I spoke to her on the phone yesterday. She's very impressed with our vocabulary because Olivia's a teacher in training, and so she's acutely aware of people's vocabulary. And she thinks we use really big words on 100 Not Out, which I think is incredible. I don't know that we do. But Olivia listened to 50 episodes, Damo, which I was touched as her brother. She listened to 50 episodes and said that she just laughed and laughed and laughed. So we might be half funny, you and I. But
is that the top half or the bottom half? No go,
yeah. One more C and E word is, and this is really corny, but it's very heartfelt, is care. You are one of the most caring individuals I've ever met. I would go as far to say that sometimes I think you care too much because you are such a feeler, that you are like the best friend. You're there for everyone. You're not an empath. You're not like a chronic empath. Like it's silly, but you just care. And I know you've said it before on other episodes. You have a trigger for injustice. It just goes to show how much you care. But in that, one of the biggest insights I've ever learned from you was in a double episode we did on this podcast, which was like a summary of Crack Your Stress Code. And you said, and I wrote it down here, you stress about the stuff that you care about. No stress equals no care. So think about that and stop demonizing stress so much, because it's okay to care, which means in other ways it's okay to stress. It's just how you go about dealing with it. But, that's a reflection of who you are as an individual. You're a very caring human being. Great man.
Thank you, Piercy. Appreciate that. This is making me very uncomfortable, but thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, how are your discomfort levels out of 10 right now?
Oh, pretty bad. I'm glad I've got a dark shirt on because you would definitely you'd see stuff that I can feel, for sure.
Are there coins? They're coins of sweat developing under there.
Yeah, little beads.
Wendy Stewart says, Damo and I are from the hood, and I love that we have so much in common. And Damo actually gives a crap about each of us.
I do.
There you go.
I do actually about everybody. That's so true. And I love that you love footy as much as I do, Wendy, as well, by the way.
Yeah, that is good. That is good.
Great.
Helen Pocock says, you definitely make me laugh every show. That's good.
That's great too.
That's good.
Well,
I think one of the things that makes me laugh about you, Damo, is your intense mastico mesophobia. I didn't bring any chocolate. I got a cup of tea here. Anyone that doesn't know what that is, Damo just cannot deal with the noises that you make when you eat
or drink
in front of him. So I'm just going to slurp my tea. I never slurp my tea, but just for you,
I'm going to mute. I've just muted my microphone.
That was a terrible slurp, actually. It was far too smooth.
I muted my microphone so I couldn't hear it. Not my microphone, my speakers.
Those that are listening for the first time, can you explain your mastico mesophobia phonia?
So there was a TV commercial back in let's say it's the 80s or 90s, where the presenter of the TV commercial brings a Mars bar to the microphone, takes a bite out of it, and then pulls it away. And I think the whole idea was to show everybody that if you bit into a Mars bar, there'd be this caramel kind of stringy bit that comes off it, right? So already that's disgusting to see what came from somebody else's mouth, right? Bang. And then for the remainder of the commercial, you hear, and I'm like, that's disgusting. So from that point on, from the Mars bar commercial, which has stuck with me for the rest of my life, and it will to the day I die, I've had an aversion to the sound of people chewing and drinking and slurping. So I could be in a restaurant, there might be 500 people in this restaurant, and there's noise all over the place, and I can hear the bloke over there who's chewing with his mouth open. It's disgusting, and I just hear it. It's so bad. They're disgusting. It's anyway. I hate it when people chew their food, like take a bite and go, I'm like, do you have to do that? Anyway, so I thought there must be a condition. There's got to be something wrong with me because it doesn't upset everybody else. So I tried to find the condition, and there's no condition. So then I had to pull together the words that describe it, and that's mesomastacophonia, and that describes the fear of the sound of someone chewing. That's what that describes. And so I put that on Urban Dictionary, created the word, and put it on Urban Dictionary. It is gross. It's so disgusting. Liv's with me. Julie Hill's with me. And Wendy is with me. I'm sure there's heaps more people that are with me on that one. There's no doubt about it.
Well, you're not alone. You're not alone. Hello to all of our friends that Eat Loudly.
I am here with you.
I know. Love a bit of MJ. We do have a joint love of MJ.
We do.
Now, one of the great nutritional nuggets of knowing you has been drink coffee around 45 minutes after your meal. Mm-hmm. Or just drink coffee after food. But, if you want a gold medal, about 45 minutes after. And don't be surprised if on the 12th minute post-coffee, you find yourself sitting on the loo. Not 7 minutes, not 3 minutes, not 10 minutes, about 12 minutes. I know this because if I walk the long way home from the cafe,
you're in trouble.
It's a little bit of a hot shoe shuffle in the last 200 metres.
It's so
just
true.
For those people, don't think of that visual too much, but for those people that are wondering about this, can you educate people on why coffee does... Well, one, why should you have coffee after a meal, not before a meal, not on an empty stomach, and why does it make you go to the toilet so quickly?
Well, the slowest reflex in the body is actually the hunger reflex. So it's a reflex that's chemically mediated. It's not a neurological reflex, and it sends different chemicals through the bloodstream when you're now full. So when you're full, your appetite switches off. That's still a communication to the brain, but that's a hormone-based reflex, and it takes time to actually get there. So like hormones are slow, nervous system's fast, and a sympathetic nervous system response, or a sympathetic response, is immediate. Like it's like that. It reminds me of a joke. Like you didn't have time to think, blink, or turn the light on. So that's that's a sympathetic response. And so when you have caffeine, when it is absorbed within 3 to 10 minutes or 3 to 7 minutes of absorption, you've triggered a sympathetic stress response because of the caffeine that you're absorbing, and it triggers the adrenaline secretion from the adrenal glands. That then sets up a cascade of sympathetic response, which will constrict different arteries and different vessels, dilate different areas within the body. And one of the things that you do when you're stressed is you dump and run. So you literally trigger the colon to get rid of, you increase peristalsis. And what happens when you increase peristalsis is you increase the rate at which things move through the gastrointestinal system. So for me, if you want to get the most out of your meal, you want to digest the food most efficiently, as opposed to move the food through as quickly as you possibly can. So you want to digest your food, have it stick around for 12 to 24 hours, then you want it out. You don't want it to be moving out sooner than that, and that's why you don't want to speed up digestion once you've just eaten the food. So you want to make sure it's all chewed into your duodenum, breaking down with the bacteria, the bile, the hydrochloric acid, everything that's in the small intestine. Break it all down, absorb all the bits that you need. Then once it gets to the colon, if it comes out a little bit, quick, then that's not a problem. You can absorb water another way. But, ideally, you're going to punch out a log, which we always talk about. And number 4 should be your number 2. How about that? I got on the 400th episode.
Yep.
And my birthday, I get to talk about poo. There we go.
All right, well, let's go a little bit into this, because there's one thing I'm still yet to find out, having known you for probably 480 episodes in terms of duration of time.
Yes.
The world, including me, surely is in a state of utter confusion around breakfast. Because now people are having bulletproof coffee for breakfast. Now breakfast is on the nose. You don't eat it. It used to be the most important meal of the day. I know people, and this is not to say they're wrong by any stretch, but I know people that just live on coffee up until, halfway through the day. And then they eat, and it's again past the fasting, and again, it's no judgment, no, that's wrong. All I'm saying is, because I've got here and when I was reflecting here, still yet to find out, is breakfast any good? Because I do like my breakfast.
Yeah.
But breakfast is the new devil when it comes to food, because if you're not fasting and having a bulletproof coffee in the morning, you're not up to speed with the latest cutting edge science when it comes to nutrition.
Well, I know that Giorgio is going to be watching this. Giorgio Stephanatos. He's going to be watching this and listening to this. There's absolutely no doubt about it. And the reason why I say that is because there's a lot of people out there, and it could be, Millsy might be watching this, maybe even DJ could be watching this. There'll be a bunch of people out there, and Dino, that are looking to find ways in which they can either shortcut or biohack their way into great health or longevity.
Shred.
What's that?
Sorry, I said shred. They want to
shred. They want to shred, yeah. They want to... But the reality is that there's metabolic processes that take place within the body that are irrefutable. So if you cause stress to your body, there's an upstream and a downstream consequence to stress. One of the things that we know about the whole of existence is that if we are in a stressful situation or a stressful environment, then that will negatively impact on our body if stress is prolonged, right? We know that. We know that the number one cause of disease in the world is stress, whether it be chemical, physical, or emotional stress, that stress is the number one trigger of all disease. Hands down. Cancer, diabetes, heart disease, osteoporosis, osteopenia, whatever you want, inflammatory bowel disease, it's always stress that drives it, chemical, emotional, or physical stress. And so in the pursuit of longevity, which is where I like to play, I'm going to do what people who have lived a long time have done. And no one has lived to 140 yet. And I know that there's people out there who are commentators that say that we can live to 140, or that we're being sold short when we say that you can live to 120, and that they're going to do it, 10% better, or because the technology we've got around nutrition these days is better, that they should be able to live. It hasn't been proven yet. So when I speak to Thea and Tula and Vula and
Yanni
and Joanna and
Yanni, Ilya.
None of them are biohacking. They're not biohacking. They're not taking bulletproof coffee every single morning. In fact, Piercy, as we walked through the caverns of Ikaria, the one thing that we noticed that was missing was coconut trees. So there's no way that they could be bulletproof coffeeing, because they can't get MCT and they can't get coconut fat. And they're not going to waste butter, which is cream. They're not going to waste butter in a coffee. They would look at us and go, "Are you ridiculous?" So we're not going to even consider that. So I got asked today from a bloke who I play golf with, "What do you think of peptides?" I said, "They're great." He said, "Should I take them?" I said, "Do you eat food every day?" He goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, you're already taking peptides." He goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, you're getting peptides from the food that you're eating, because you break it down to the smallest component. Then the body will actually absorb amino acids and then create peptides. If you buy peptides and eat peptides, they all get broken down into amino acids, and then they get reconfigured again in the bloodstream, and that's what happens. So you can't biohack your way through life, and I suppose that's a long answer to a short question. But anyway,
no, that's good. That's good. So
happy birthday.
I'm going to keep on eating breakfast.
Yeah, keep eating breakfast. You need to break fast.
Yep.
Yeah.
I still don't know if 3 square meals or grazing. I as you know, I'm a grazer, and I know that you are 1, 2, or 3 meals, and you have a very different, shall we call it, constitution. Are you on this? Is this something, the longer you live and the more people you see and speak with in the rest, do you think there is a one-size-fits-all to eating in terms of amount of food? Or do you think it is it's like coffee, you got the slow metabolizers and the fast metabolizers. Like if Sarah has a coffee in the morning, which she doesn't because she'll just be wired still at 10 o'clock that night. Is it the same difference with different body types in relation to how often they eat and the quantities of their meals or snacks?
Well, what it appears to be is that we probably require about 3 lots of food equivalent per day. So if we talk about the Palm method, we need 3 lots of 2 fists throughout the whole of the day in terms of food. That's what we need. Now, some people can eat more than that because the bacteria they've got in their body will limit the amount of calories that they're going to absorb, and there's other things that happen in their body which will improve the way in which they burn fuel, and then maybe even repair muscles and store fat, etc., etc. So everybody's slightly different, but what we do need is the equivalent of 6 fists a day of food. That's what we need, 6 fists a day of food. So if you want to break that into 6 meals, 5 meals, 3 meals, whatever, that's fine. And if you want to fast, that's totally fine, but don't say that it's intermittent if you do it every single day, because that's now no longer intermittent, because that's just, I fast, I don't eat until 12. And that's just what it is. So intermittent fasting is when you do it from time to time, not when you do it every single day. So I think that you've got to eat a certain amount of food to maintain your metabolism. If you don't, long term, there'll be implication for it. And the flip of that is if you overeat, then there'll be long-term down the track implication for it.
This is really good. I'm learning. Is it 3 fists or 6 fists a day?
Well, it's 6 a day because you want 3 lots of 2 fists.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
All right. That just makes me feel so much better about me grazing. Because yeah. I'd have 6 fists a day. I don't think I'd really go to 7.
Nah.
And I don't eat that much at lunch.
And the world has finished spinning like in a full rotation by the time you finish dinner anyway. So because you're the slowest eater on the planet. So by the time you get to your 7th fist, it's already the next day.
That's true. Well, we have breakfast about 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And dinner at about 5:30.
Yeah.
And if Sarah's gone to bed early, I don't really have a snack at night. So everyone that loves their fasting would be like, cool, man, you're on a 14:10. And I'm like, am I? I'm just having breakfast, lunch and dinner and a couple of snacks in between.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think that's good, though. 6 fists, however you have it, just pretty much, would you say don't have 6 fists in one meal?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think that would create a fair bit of challenge to the gut. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. In fact, it's something I discovered yesterday in having a consultation with somebody, is that this particular person responds really well to small meals throughout the day and doesn't get bloated. If she has 3 meals, then she gets bloated. If she has 5 meals, she doesn't get bloated. Same amount of food, just spread out. So even from a digestive load perspective, she handles that better. So that taught me something yesterday, just finding that out. The other thing I found out just recently, and I was looking at somebody's metabiome profile, looking at the type of bacteria that this person carries, and I worked out that she creates too much gas from eating too much fibre, and as a result of creating the gas, causes paralysis of her gut. And so I said, you've got to go keto. By going keto and decreasing her fibre, we increase the rate at which her bowels moved. Amazing. So there's still so much stuff that I'm learning every single day. So incredible.
And I love that you love learning. I love that you love learning. And Pete Lennon loves, also the ring I love about Christmas approaching is that somewhere around there, Damo is going to predict health trends for the next 12 months. I love that as well. And that is coming up in 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're going to do about live recordings at Christmas time. That could get a little bit awkward on the calendar, but we'll work something out. We might have to do a couple of double episodes leading up to Christmas.
Yep.
Damo, this has been a joy. I've just gone through a little skimming, and our listeners and viewers have put in some wonderful comments here.
It's wonderful.
On behalf of everyone, very sincere happy birthday to you, great man, and thank you for joining me 400 times on this episode and sharing your wisdom with all of the 100 Not Out family. We absolutely love you, and thank you for your contribution to society thus far, and look forward to another 47 plus years ahead.
Thank you, Piercy. Thank you so much. As I said, and I tell you this every time I see you, every time we go for a walk, every time we have hand cuddles. We don't have hand cuddles. We don't. We should maybe, but we don't.
We should.
Every time I catch up with you, I can't express enough gratitude for you, for what you've brought into my world. And it's because of 100 Not Out that I think I have the happiness that I do. So, as well as my practice. But, 100 Not Out gives me so much joy. I just love it. I love it. So thank you, big man, great man. Piercy, without you, I'd be nowhere. So thank you. And congratulations, 400 years and 400 episodes. I mean, not 400 years, 400 episodes. It's great. And my birthday is just, it's another day, but this is a milestone, 400 episodes. It's great.
No, there's no such thing as another day with a birthday. Thanks, Legend. Guys, to find out more about Damo, head on over to DamienChristof.com. You can connect with Damo. Damo can speak for your company. You can go and see Damo at Vita. You can draw on that wisdom in a number of ways. Myself, head on over to marcuspearce.com.au. Big shout out to everyone that makes this podcast possible. Cielo for your social media support. Annie Council for your help on Instagram, to Joseph Tomo, our wonderful editor, and to our 100 Not Out community. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. Over 400 episodes. We look forward to another 400 plus. Cannot thank you enough for your support of our message. And until next time, as always, continue to make the rest of your life the best of your life.
Bye for now. I like that we've started doing that. That's quite good.
Me too. We are still on Facebook?
Yeah, we're still on Facebook. But we've stopped our recording for people who are audio only. Audio only.
Oh, there's a lot of love there. Good on you, Wendy. Good on you, Liv. Good on you, Wendy Adams. Wendy Stewart, Wendy Adams.
How good's Liv?
Robert
Now, I got a text message from you yesterday saying that Liv's going to call, and I think she'd already called by the time I got your text message, and I haven't had a chance to call her back because I was on the golf course today. So, and I went fishing last night.
Fishing? Where do you go fish? Oh, no, of course. You live by the beach.
Yeah.
Where do you go fishing?
That's right.
Oh, well, that's a relief to know that you're allowed to go fishing.
Yeah,
That's good.
absolutely.
Well done.
Absolutely.
Well done. We love you too, Wendy.
Love you too, Wendy.
We love you too, Wendy. I'm very happy you can go fishing. How'd you hit them, by the way?
Smashed them today.
Hey!
Smashed
Better
them.
than
It was a
last week.
good day. It was a good day.
Flat as a tack.
Last
After a
week I was
few
as flat as a
wide
tack. I
shots.
tell you what, I was just like going, why am I playing this game? I was thinking about it today. Like I look back on my last 20 rounds and like what constitutes a flag, which is what gives you your handicap, are your eight last best rounds, right, of the last 20. So they pick your best 8 of the last 20 and then they average that out and then you get your handicap. That means that like 25% of the time you walk off the course happy. And that is about right because only like 5 of those are really good. And so anyway, I thought if I was a cyclist, I'd be happy every time I go out. If I was, if I was a runner like Ravi, I'd be wrapped because I'm, all the time running all the time. So that's anyway.
You have a torturous habit. You have a torturous habit.
Torturous habit. Yeah, that's right. If I was a surfer, imagine if I was a surfer. It'd be unbelievable.
No waves, though. Imagine no waves.
Hey, we've had waves in Port Phillip Bay, I tell you. It's been windy.
Go. Well, I reckon we farewell our Facebookers, and then we can start swearing and saying all those other things that we talk about after the episode.
Oh, dear. Thanks, everybody, so much for joining us, and have a great week. We'll see you next Wednesday. And, I'll be in Sydney next week. I'm going to Sydney next week.
Gee whiz. We have to see each other. I haven't seen you for like 12 months.
I'm going to jump on a plane. I can't wait. I'm going to be on a plane. What is that?
Yeah. We have to do it in real life.
Yeah. All right. Hang on.
Yeah.
I'm going to finish off the Facebook. See you later, everyone.
See you, Facebook.